In this video, we're going to be looking at the difference between average rates of return versus actual rate of return. And my hope is by the end of this video, you'll be a better investor, a more savvy business person, and at the end of the day, understand the principle on why sometimes people can be very misleading with using averages versus the actual return of the fund or the, whatever their investment is. My name is Caleb Guilliams. This is the BetterWealth channel, and our purpose of this channel is to do videos on money and business so that you can live more intentional. And when I learned this concept a couple of years back, it just made me a better, more savvier person as it relates to my money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out this principle on why this principle is rooted, because a lot of times if we're investing a lump sum of money at the average rate of return, almost always will be less than the actual rate of return, and it's because losses affect our account far greater than gains. Now, I'll mention at the end the dollar cost averaging philosophy and how this concept can be maybe made up if you are someone that's committed to whatever you're investing and putting money in each month. But assuming you're putting money in all at once, the concept here is every time you lose a dollar, I don't care if it's because of volatility, or I don't care if it's because of a fee or anything. Once you lose that dollar, it's gone forever. You're never able to earn it back. You're never able to have it back. And as a result, you just lost a mini asset to your portfolio that could be working for you ever again. That's why many wealthy individuals are obsessed with not losing money. So the extreme example here is, let's say I have $100, and let's say I invest in your fund and you're crushing it and you make 100%. Okay, so after year one, I made 100% of my money. I now have $200. Okay, 200 fake dollars in this example. So now I have $200, and then the next year, your fund doesn't earn anything. In fact, they lose 50%. Okay, you lose 50%. So my $200 goes back down to my $100. Now, we're not including opportunity costs. We're not going to calculate that. You would agree that you would have earned nothing over those 2 years. You went up and then you went down. But the average rates of return is actually 25% in that scenario, because we take 100, we subtract 50, so that equals 50, and then we divide by 2. That's a 25% rate of return on your money. And you think, that's crazy, right? Because if I would have told you, we're going to average 25%, I would be 100% accurate. It's math. It was accurate. We averaged 25% on your money, but the actual rate of return was 0. And you can feel a little bit misled when you're like, man, this doesn't feel like an average rate of return of 25%, but it is in a very extreme example. Maybe a less extreme example is, let's say you had $100 and you lost 20%. You lost 20%. So now your $100 goes down to 80. Remember the principle. Every time you lose money, you don't just lose that money today, but you lose what that money could have earned you the rest of your life. So you lost that money. And now if you earn 20% back, so we rally and we get 20%, now you only have $96 instead of back to your 100. Why? Because that 20% is earning on a lesser amount. That is why we need to be obsessed as investors with eliminating losses and really being careful to not lose money. I think Warren Buffett's 2 rules to investing is, number 1, don't lose money, and rule number 2 is listen to rule number 1. Because a lot of times we can get caught in the hype, and you look back over, your 10-year period of time in investing, and you realize because of emotion, because of fees, and because of volatility, you may not have earned anywhere near the actual average in the market. Now, I do want to talk about this concept of dollar cost averaging, because it is the one thing that can redeem losing money in a volatile market. So if you are someone that, based on your investment DNA, decide that you want to invest in the market and you just want to keep low cost index funds and just let it ride, and that there's going to be volatility, this concept of average rates of return versus actual, if you just put all your money in and you lost 10% and you gained 10%, you would be behind because of that analogy. But if you do what's called dollar cost averaging, which is, each month, regardless of what happens, I'm putting money in. When the market goes down, when you're investing, you could see it as buying at a discount And so the dollar cost averaging very much can make up for this concept of you losing money. Now, we can talk in a whole nother video if that's a good strategy, if you should be committing to something like that. And the short answer to that is it all depends on your goals, what you're good at, the connections that you have, and at the end of the day, the results that you want by putting your money and time into different things. But overall, that's what I wanted to just point across in this video is we need to be obsessed with not losing money. We cannot just listen to average rates of return. We have to look at actual rates of return because math can be misleading, and actual rates of return can still be a little bit misleading, but they're way more accurate as it relates to what you're actually getting in the past and what you can expect to get in the future.
I was given